should be live now.
Okay. I mean, you want to let it run for a minute and make sure?
Yeah, that's always a good idea. Because there was one time I like clicked it and started doing the intro, and it cut the intro a little bit on Mixer, so I had to go to Google and kind of get it right. And you know, if people start tuning in live, they'll get it kind of. I mean, it's not like it's a heavily edited podcast, but they'll get it even more raw than normal, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. Okay, so it's live. I waited till I got the pop up on. I waited till I got the pop up on YouTube. I mean, it's not like a whole lot of people is around, but like I still would like to see what there is to see. You know what? I think it's time. I don't know how we want to do it, but I think it's time to do our vaping podcast.
I think we should do that. Actually, last week when you were like, when we did the Monday show, I was like, maybe we should do it like the next day or something, because I didn't know what you were doing or what days that you're. But it should definitely be on an off day on what we normally do. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I think. But see, but like I said, it comes back to the same thing that I said before, where I don't know where to put the vape show. You know what I mean? Like, where do we put it? Like, do we put it here, on the GGRU, or do we put it on like our personal stuff as like a whole separate entity?
But we should call it "Grab 'em by the Vape." Grab 'em by the V.
No.
Would we lose our SJW cred?
No. because the line is pussy, so like you can't put the word. I mean, can you get something vaping out of the word pussy?
No.
So like that. So that shouldn't offend anybody. I mean, it shouldn't, but that's not saying that it's going.
But do we have SJW cred? Do we want SJW cred?
I believe we have some. I would say that we have some by way of associations, like the facetious. I think there was enough in facetious to give me enough cred.
Yeah.
To be able to add that cred to the show. But is it cred I actually want? No. I'm not really that dude. Like, I'm...
Yeah, because I was talking to Max, and I was like, you know what? Like, it's funny that, like, people on the left always get, like, put in this SJW, like, block, right? And then I was like, but we're, like, so, like... It's not like we're, like saying sexist or homophobic things all the time or something, but I don't think we're politically correct. Like, I think
like, it's way, and that's going to lead into something that I watched, the whole politically correctness thing.
Yeah.
We can come back to that part. But here's the thing. People always like talk in extremes, right?
Yeah.
Like when people are talking shit about liberals, they're talking about the extreme. When people are talking shit about conservatives, they're talking shit about the extremes. Like, if you're not extreme, like, there's no reason for you to be offended. But also, there's, I mean,
but also,
it doesn't encompass everybody.
The same way somebody like Pimp wouldn't want to be associated with the alt-right, the same way that we wouldn't want someone, oh, you're a liberal, that means you're like an SJW, and we're like, no. Like, these people were, like, I think the people that are completely alt-right and the people that are completely like SJW are like a very small percentage of the internet, and they're almost like two sides of the same coin.
Yeah, it's the vocal minorities. But see, here's the thing. There's a thing that Knox hit me to a long time ago, and it's a theory. I guess you could call it a theory, or just it's a thing. It's called collectivism, where government-wise, both sides pretend to be on opposite sides of everything, and like, okay, you take this issue, I'll take the other side of the issue, and then we'll battle. But there's never going to be a real winner, because on the low, they're both on the same side. So like, you'll never actually
Hold on, I'm getting something weird. It's like a weird staticky screeching sound.
I hear it.
You hear it?
Ooh, it just got worse. Yeah, whatever you did was making it worse. Oh. That's no good.
Did I fix it?
Well, I guess that confirmed that. I don't know what noise that was. Was that your phone or something?
I don't know what it was, but I unplugged my my speakers, and it stopped it, even though my speakers are off. So it was interfering. But anyway, okay. Technical difficulties. Yay!
Yeah, but we haven't officially started yet. This is just for the people who are watching. There's a theory called collectivism, because basically, even though they claim to be opposed to each other, truly they're all on the same side, and you can figure out all of this by the policies. Like 45 has done a lot, and he's talked about like pushing things in like one direction, but at the end of the day, that's not the direction that things are going. And every time he tries to like say, okay, we're going to do this or we're going to do that, what ends up really happening is not the thing that he actually talked about. It's somewhere. It's what actually happens is somewhere in the middle. And even though it shifts a little bit left of center or right of center, it still pretty much stays in the center. The whole liberal versus conservative thing is just to get us all mixed up in it, and it gets us to react, and gets us to go out on our Facebooks and say a whole bunch of dumb shit, when at the end of the day, like, all of those people that are the lawmakers, they're about one thing. Most of them are there for the money, and there's too much money in it for them to really take a side. It's just like, in like between lobbyists and all that kind of shit, they're all getting paid by the same people.
Right.
So like, at the end of the day, is it really left or right? No, because everybody getting paid. All of them are getting paid, and the best thing that they can do is to keep us riled up. Because if they keep us riled up, then we don't notice all of the other stuff. It's how you fuck over a country, basically. You point the finger at everybody, and like, everybody is pointing the finger at somebody, and then you rile them up so much that they keep pointing the fingers at themselves, and nobody's pointing any fingers at you.
Right.
It's the boy who cried wolf, but in a larger scale. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, we're gonna tell you that a fire got started, and what you don't realize is the fire got started a long time ago. You just weren't paying attention. We're telling you that that something is gonna happen, and it's gonna start another fire. Well, the longer you pay attention to the fire that may be coming, you pay no attention to the fire that's already been going.
Right.
So I think it's a situation to where it's like,
I was going to say drop your mic, but that would mess everything up.
Yeah. Well, I can't It's like screwed in. It's attached. I mean, I can unplug it, like if necessary. But it's screwed into this little stand thing. It's the thing, like when and I've said this before, but like when things come up like anthrax or swine flu or bird flu or something like that, it's just to keep people scared, because scared people don't realize what's actually happening. And like, you know, while we were worried about fucking clowns last election,
and that's what, and they love conspiracy theories too, because there's a lot of conspiracy theories. There's a lot of conspiracies happen. But they love the conspiracy theories that are like completely crazy, and then people start looking at like Area 51 and all this freaking shit, and lizard people and flat Earth and all this, and they're the ones that are completely blind to the actual conspiracies that are actually going on, because the conspiracies that are actually going on aren't as interesting. But they do fuck us over.
It's not as grand, and it doesn't sound as grand to the average person. And because it doesn't sound as grand, like, we are not interested. Like, we're only interested.
And it also dumbs down, like when there's so many crazy conspiracy theories that are fake, then it gets people to think all conspiracy theories are fake, because that's conspiracy theories, that's just for crazy people. And then like the actual conspiracies that are going down, you're just going to like,
Anna?
What's up, man? I haven't seen it yet in my chat, but
I see it in the YouTube chat. I think it's a situation where you say the conspiracy theory thing, which, I mean, we already look at people who do the deep conspiracy theories like they are not very bright, or they just completely overdo certain things, like the flat earthers. Like, flat earthers, like, how the fuck did you come up with this shit? Like, he said, I can't tell, is that a Doom shirt? Yes, but it's backwards.
Yeah, so, it's my mood shirt, man. It changes. Yeah. It's white right now because I'm podcasting. It's
a so it. I mean, they've already dumbed us down. They dumbed us down by by changing school. Like, if you are not furthering your education outside of school, like, you are just dumb. Like, you know what I mean? And it's to the point to where some people are pointing to colleges and saying that colleges are still not actually preparing people for their lives. Like, there's conspiracy theories about why that is. That the whole idea of public school was to create workers. They weren't necessarily, he said mood is his favorite game of all time. The conspiracy theory is like, the whole point of public school was to create more workers. It's not necessarily to create more leaders. And that's part of the reason why college is so expensive, because, only certain people can figure out how to go. And then once you go, like, only certain people can really succeed there. And those are the people that rise above the circumstances and become above the working class. But the whole purpose of public school was to create more of the working class. They tell you what you need to know in order to be a worker. They don't tell you what you need to know in order to be a leader. How many management classes did you take in school?
None.
You know what I mean? Outside of some school districts having some sort of vocational program, like, what kind of things do you learn in school that you could actually turn into a job?
Only vocational programs we had was like, we had the brick masons.
Create more workers.
Yeah.
We had certain things in my school district. It was a lot of different things that you could do, but none of it was management. It was all to teach you how to be a worker. even a skilled worker, like you could take a class where you learn how to do like mechanics and stuff like that, but that's teaching you how to be a mechanic. It's not teaching you how to own one of those businesses.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's all designed, according to the conspiracy theories, it's all designed to create more workers, and that's that's why some people, if they have the means, they opt to do the homeschooling thing. And I met someone who homeschooled her children, and like the thing about the homeschooling, especially in like when I knew this lady, it was in Newport News. This lady, she had her kids, even though they were homeschooled, they had to take a standardized test every year in order for her to keep qualifying to keep homeschooling her children.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, at the very least, even though she was homeschooling, they still had to know that basic worker shit that everyone else gets taught. So, like, no matter what you teach during your homeschooling, you still got to circle your kids back around to that same idea. And they have to be able to pass that test in order for you to be able to keep homeschooling.
Word.
It's crazy. I mean, it's crazy, but like, I don't know. I guess I don't know. The problem with it is, the problem with all of this is, all of it's so convoluted that no one can come up with an answer right now. Like, do you know an answer to this? No one does. And that's been a really big issue with the people who, like, if you consider yourself a progressive, not necessarily just like a liberal, but if you consider yourself a progressive, you ain't got the answer, Sway. Like, you just don't. Like, you can see all of the problems, but all of this stuff is mired in so much gunk on purpose that there is no real answer that's just going to fix everything. It's just going to require a complete dismantling of something that we've been doing for years and have been okay with it, you know?
Yeah.
All right, so I guess we're going to do a rolling star.
Well, we could start and I just put all that shit at the end. I
mean, you can. So, welcome everybody. No, we put that at the beginning. It don't matter. So what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Scarfinger. This is Scarcasm, and we're in a building.
We are in a building. Well, we're in two buildings. I'm in one, you're in another.
Yes, absolutely. We're coming live from Virginia and North Carolina, two neighboring states. Howdy.
Howdy.
And Sam couldn't be here today, work issues. But I really wanted Sam on so he could talk about his WrestleMania experience. And I wanted him to weigh in on the whole Kofi Kingston thing. I think his name is Kofi Kingston. I really wanted him to weigh in on that because, he is a fan of wrestling and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully we can get that from him soon and he can talk about his experience with actually going to WrestleMania, which is kind of a cool concept in itself.
Yeah.
Like, even if you're not like a super wrestling fan, just the ability to be able to go to WrestleMania is quite the fucking experience. So that's just kind of dope. So I got a few things that I want to discuss. I don't know exactly where to start.
You can start at the beginning.
Okay, I'm going to start at the beginning. I started watching a TV show, and I got so enthralled with it that I finished it in the same day.
How many episodes we talking?
I believe there is 10 episodes, but it's kind of like a half an hour show.
Okay.
So it's not a long thing by any stretch of the imagination.
So every 2 episodes would be an hour, so it'd be about 5 hours.
But see, here's the thing. It's not a TV show that is on. It's not a TV show that is on a television channel. so the episodes are not all exactly the same length. Some of them are a little bit longer than others.
Oh, okay.
So, and the show that I'm speaking of is Cobra Kai.
Yeah, I've been meaning to watch that, and I haven't got around to it yet. So I'm guessing it was good.
It was really good. Like the whole premise of Cobra Kai is it's been 34 years since the Karate Kid, and the events of the Karate Kid, and Dan and Johnny have gone in two completely different situations, gone in two completely different directions in their lives.
Right.
Johnny is kind of down and out right now. In that moment of that crane kick completely changed his life, and you can say that crane kick kind of fucked his life up. And Dan has gone on to he owns like car dealerships, and he's really big. He's like, the car king of Santa Monica or wherever they are. One of those types. It's someplace in California, but like his life has taken a drastic upward turn, as opposed to Johnny, who has gone straight down, basically. And but see, here's the thing. There's a lot of not just callbacks to the original movie, because it actually has scenes from the first movie, but they had somebody go into the archives and they showed alternate takes of the scenes that we know and love. Like, the very first thing that you see in the TV show is that the last part of the fight between them, and the crane kick. You actually see Johnny get hit. Like, there's a close up of Johnny getting hit in the face, and it changes a little bit of your perspective. I think there was that video a few years ago that basically said that that Dan was the villain, and there's a little bit of that in this, where neither of them comes off clean by the end of all of this. Neither of them are the hero or the villain. Where Johnny was clearly the bully in the last game, but there's issues now, and there's times where you root for both of them, which is kind of weird to say. And you find out it's Cobra Kai is mostly focused on Johnny.
Right.
It's mostly focused on Johnny, and Johnny getting to the point in his life where he reopens the dojo. And this is where the political correct part comes in, because Johnny hasn't changed much since the 80s. So, a kind of a weird thing happens where there's Mr. Miyagi had a line in the first movie where he said, there's no such thing as a bad student, only bad teacher. Well, Johnny is a representation of his teacher. And you can see, when you learn a little bit more about who Johnny really is, outside of what we thought he was, the one dimension that we saw in the original movie, we learned that there's layers to him, and he has a Mr. Miyagi type moment with a child that is very Daniel-like, and you can see what happens to him and the people around him over the course of the series, because the approach to training him is not like Mr. Miyagi, you know, like it's a weird thing of like, and like Johnny is a man out of time. So like he's like yelling at him and telling him don't be a pussy and all of this kind of stuff, and you know like, and then a girl comes in and she wants to learn how to fight, and you know he was just like, we don't allow girls in Cobra Kai, like, you know, like he is just a man out of time. He still has a flip phone. you know what I mean, like, but it outside of the two of them, there's also how they tie it to now is there are a bunch of high school kids that are a part of this, and the high school kids go through this kind of crisis and transformation of their own once they start being a part of a part of learning how to defend themselves. And it's like the girl, she is a target of cyberbullying. So it's not even like, you know, she's being bullied in the same way. You know, like she's a larger young lady, and they make fun of her for being fat by posting on like these like things like Instagram type deals and stuff like that. It's just really good. And I'm gonna tell you, when I realized that I was in, I started watching this at work, and like I watched basically the first episode at work, and I was like, huh, this is actually kind of interesting. I'm gonna keep watching. And a couple of episodes in, Dan goes to Mr. Miyagi's grave, and that's the moment where I got real emotional about it. That's the moment I knew I cared. Mm-hmm. Like I knew I cared way more than I was letting on. At first, it was like, hey, this seems like a cool little TV show, but like this is like real deal. You know, it means something on some level. And it's just really cool about like I like the fact that at the end of the day there are no villains because Dan does some real fucked up things here because, you know, like I said, he's successful in his life, and then Johnny gets to the point to where he reopens the dojo, and of course that sparks something in Dan where he feels like he needs to stop this. He just needs to do whatever he can to stop this, because just flashbacks of his childhood and being bullied by these guys. Right. You know, like, and it's a real deal situation. And there's one scene where basically Johnny explains the first movie from his perspective. And we've all seen the movie, and we know exactly what the fuck happened in that movie. Mm-hmm. But when he explains it, he is sincere that he wasn't the bad guy. Like, you know, Dan showed up and fucked everything up. And if you don't remember the first movie, you kind of believe him. Like, yo, maybe Dan did fuck everything up for you, because he seemed to be fucking up everything now. You know what I mean? Like, but like the idea that, you know, he sits down and he tells his student about what happened, and he basically explains what happened in the first movie, and it's like really is like no villain believes he's the villain. Most villains believe that they're the hero of the story and somebody else is the villain, and it's 100% accurate in this case. So if you have access to YouTube Premium, do that, or if there's a way that you can, you know, get it through Kodi or something like that, watch this shit, because I find it's really good. And the new season, they are working on the season 2. I believe it's finished, and it comes out in like 2 weeks. Cool. It comes out on like the 24th, I believe.
And is this a YouTube original?
Yes, it is a YouTube original.
Okay.
But it's really cool, like the idea that not only there's links to the original series, but like they actually use scenes from the original movie. Like, there's one part where Johnny is just driving down the street, and like when he's thinking of things that happened in that first movie, and they just show it, and it's just a clip of something that happened. But like I said, somebody went into the archives, and some of the stuff is not exactly the way that we saw it before. It's alternate takes and such, which is really cool. And then like something happens later on in the series, in the first season, that you realize that after the very, very beginning, he said my mic has an echo. I don't hear it.
Huh. I don't hear it either. But, I mean, everything's been acting kind of weird lately.
Yeah, everything's kind of screwy. I can't remember what I was saying. I lost it. I completely lost it. Yep, I lost it. It was gone. But I really, really enjoyed it. I super enjoyed it, and I'm happy for the next season.
Cool. Cobra Kai, y'all. Yeah,
Cobra Kai is really stinking good. So if you have access to it, or you can get it through Cody or something like that, do that. It's really good. And I'm not really the whole nostalgic. I'm not the nostalgic type, but this really, it really had me from the very beginning, and I like how they were able to turn everything on its head and present a familiar story to you, but in a different way, because like I said, it's mostly from the perspective of Johnny and like what he's gone through since then, and what did he go through then. Oh, that's what I was saying. You realize later on that outside of the very, very beginning of the second movie, because the second movie picks up right after the tournament, when the dude in charge of Cobra Kai breaks the trophy and puts Johnny in a headlock. Johnny was not around for the rest of this shit at all. Like something comes back and Johnny gets asked a question and he has no idea what's actually happening, and he gets asked about something that kind of happens in the third movie, but he has no idea because he wasn't around for that.
Right.
And according to them, the next Karate Kid is canon. That was the one with Hilary Swank. The next Karate Kid is canon. Which would be interesting if they can actually get Hilary Swank in. If they can actually get her an appearance in the show. I think that's really cool. And one of the cool things is, like, one of the executive producers is Will Smith.
Huh.
Because Will Smith's company bought the rights when they made the version with his son and Jackie Chan. So Will Smith is an executive producer on this, and Will Smith's company had to sign off on this because they own the rights to Karate Kid. Well, they basically have access to the rights of the Karate Kid now.
Wow.
Yeah. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So what you been up to, dog?
I have been living life, man. Doing the thing, flowing through the ebb and flow, the Eddie Vedder. I've been I finished Fallout 4. Well, at least the main story.
Okay.
I was thinking about maybe since Fallout's kind of in a rough place right now with the whole 76 debacle and all that. Maybe I should do a Fallout podcast with some of our friends that are really into Fallout, just to have a little bit of a positivity about Fallout. I mean, you don't have to be there since you don't give a shit, but I thought that might be kind of cool just to have a little bit of positivity about something that's been positive for a long time, and all of a sudden is in a negative spot, and people are forgetting. You know, you guys liked this for a long time.
But a lot of people were negative on 4. I don't necessarily know why, because I never really played any of them for long enough to understand what the conversations were about. So Arcana just asked where Amber was.
She playing The Sims.
So I'm not a Fallout hater. I just never played enough for me to really get Fallout.
Right.
Well,
let me say one thing. 4 is a good game, I think, but all the things of when people don't like 4, I understand. But I'm not like a super negative person, so I'm not like. But I do get it. Like, there's some things that are just, it just doesn't have the spark like 3 did. Like, and I don't know if that was because it was pretty much my first entry into Fallout, because I didn't really play 1 and 2. But a lot of people have that same sentiment, you know what I mean?
Come on, nobody played 1 and 2. Let's be honest.
A lot of people played 1 and 2.
Not anybody I know.
Well, I know some people. But yeah, so I really dug 3, and then in this one, there was something missing. I get that, and then there was the main story was just kind of strange, and in 3. Yeah, that was like, okay, you know, like the text stuff, like when you say what you're gonna say. When 3, your character wasn't voiced, but there was like, they were really in depth of what you were gonna say or what things were, right? In 4, it was like, do you say this little good thing, this little bad thing, or this little sarcastic thing? There's like 4 different answers, and they're all like super simple. It's like almost a dumbed down version of BioShock, to where, not BioShock, but Mass Effect.
Mass Effect?
Yeah, to where Mass Effect, it was pretty in depth, even though it seemed simple. Like there was an in depth, but in Fallout, it's just all simple. Like it's just like simple answers and whatnot, and there's no like morality. You're either melodramatic and serious, or you're sarcastic. There's no like saying something that's a complete asshole or a complete good. So that's one thing.
So it's not LA Noire. Have you ever played LA Noire?
It's kind of like playing Fallout or Mass Effect, but without Paragon and Renegade.
No, I'm saying the LA Noire. It was just weird. Like they gave you choices, and like you would pick a choice, and the dude would just lose it. And it was like, I didn't think that's what I thought. I didn't think he was gonna say all that. It was just like, someone to say something, and it'd be like, doubt them, and you'd be like, like you think that your character is just gonna be like, you sure about this? And he'd be like, bitch, I know you did it, and you're just like, bruh. That's not what I thought you was gonna say right now. Like, I don't understand it. Like, it's closer to Mass Effect than LA Noire. It didn't swing wildly. It was more of a simple situation.
Yeah, but Mass Effect did it right, and then Fallout 4 didn't really grab it as much. And I get that, but like combat wise, Fallout 4 is just. I rarely use VATS in Fallout 4, which is it's not turn-based, but it's where you slow down time and stuff. But, yeah, but I didn't use that in Fallout 4 because the shooting mechanics are actual fucking shooting mechanics. In 3, they weren't. It was still like dice rolls when you're fucking shooting shit. So, might as well use VATS because you'll have a better chance of hitting shit with VATS than you would trying to fucking shoot with those guns. But in 4, it was like legit. Like, I mean, I really enjoyed the combat in 4. But yeah, I mean, I get it, but I still think it'd be kind of cool to like have a have a podcast with like Jay Dukes is really into it. Is Sam really in the Fallout, or was that Skyrim?
And the Skyrim is his thing.
Okay, and then there's somebody else I had in mind, but I can't remember off the top of my head.
I say go for it. Like the whole point of like when I recorded that the answer to the question, and I put that up myself. I was just like, you know what? We should do more of this. So like, if you have an idea for a show, like do that shit. I mean, we have the Digicast. And casual conversation by the Digicast on the feed and all of that stuff. Like, why not? Like, let's diversify the feed. Like, we can come in here and do the same thing that we do every week. But if there's something that we want to elaborate on, feel free to do it. Like,
cool, man.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that shit at all. Like, now, will I actually listen to it? I probably skim through it because I don't really, think that much about Fallout. But I still think it's something valid to do for the people, for everyone else that's listening. If you have any interest in Fallout, you should do that. Like, the idea that in between now and when you actually get this thing together, you can also play some Fallout Shelter. You know what I mean? Like, have a perspective on that. Like, there's a lot of ways that you can go with this.
Yeah. Yeah, and, I also...
Being supportive. I'm a supportive friend.
You are supportive. Don't let anybody tell you that you're not.
I can tell you some people that don't think that I'm very supportive.
Okay. Well, I also finished Wolfenstein: The New Order, and goddamn, that was a really good game. Like, that was a really good game. I really enjoyed that game. Like, aside from killing Nazis, was like very satisfying in that game. The characters were like really fleshed out and like actually made you fucking care. And for a id fucking shooter, that's kind of unheard of. I mean, just think Doom. It's you, a guy fucking killing demons. It's fun as shit, but you're a guy killing demons. That's the story. Right. So to actually flesh something out as well as they did in that game was like really commendable. So I kind of want to play the second one.
Word up.
So there was something else I finished, but I don't remember. But I did start Assassin's Creed Origins, and that's been really fucking good so far. I've only put like 3 or so hours into it, but it doesn't even feel like Assassin's Creed game, man. It feels good. Like, when people are talking about, man, this is the change that they needed, sometimes the people that talk are the people that are right, and I think they were right about this game.
Word up.
And it took me a while to get to it, because I've never finished an Assassin's Creed game. I would put like 15 hours into one, or maybe 20, and then I would just get sidetracked, and I never finished any of them. I think I'm definitely going to finish this one.
Wow.
So, plus it's really pretty.
I have, okay, so let's just get this out of the way. I played a little bit of Killing Floor, but not enough to really talk about. But I played a shit ton of Division still. And I think my experience has been changed by always having somebody to play the game with. Like, I don't think that I would have played this much Division, or I would even got to where I am, because I'm on World Tier 5. And, and now I'm trying to level up my gear scores like 480 something. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm getting there, and I'm really about that life right now. But I think this game is a very well-made game, but it's made better by the fact that I have somebody to play the game with. If I had to solo this game, I would have fucking quit a long time ago. I really would have. Like, this is just not. It's not a game that I would like to solo. It's very, very difficult.
So I've heard.
It's extremely difficult to solo. So, but yeah, so I'm still really, really enjoying playing the game with my cousin and his friends. I haven't had a whole lot of people, like, people that I'm just cool with, and like people who are cool with the show that have been around, because everybody's playing on different platforms or whatever. It does make me want to get it for PlayStation, even though I rarely use my PlayStation. I just, maybe it'll open it up for more people to be able to join and be able to, feel the goodness from this game, because, like I said, it's a very, very well made game.
I know Matt and them are on PlayStation, but they're kind of feeling that they wish they got it for Xbox so they can play with certain people. But the reason they got it on PlayStation is to play with certain people that they haven't even played with. So now they're like, fuck it. We should have got it for Xbox.
Kind of like my version of the Division 1. So, yeah, that happened. And then I'm watching another new TV show, and it is a Hulu original called The Act. Now,
enunciated the fuck out of that.
I wanted to, because I didn't want to be black and say The Act. You know what I mean? I didn't want to do that. I wanted to make sure that I said The Act.
Okay.
I wanted to make sure that y'all understood what it was, because if I would have said The Act, like how I would have normally said it, y'all would have been like, the what? The Act. So The Act is based off of a true story about a young lady named Gypsy Rose Blanchard. And I saw the trailer for this a few weeks before the show actually came out, and it looked really interesting, and I kind of fell into the rabbit hole of trying to figure out like what really happened. And basically this lady, her mom basically convinced her that there was a lot of things wrong with her and kept her in a wheelchair. Okay, now I'm starting to hear me. I hear me. It's a little low, but I hear me in the background. But her mom convinced her that she had a whole bunch of things wrong with her, and that she needed to be in a wheelchair. And the mom basically parlayed this into like all kinds of stuff, like people donating money, they being able to go on trips. The Habitat for Humanity actually built them a house in Missouri. And like all of these things, apparently they were from New Orleans originally, and they left there. And the mom basically used the whole Katrina thing to kind of get over on the doctors and say that, the records have been lost since Katrina, but this is what's happening here. So she's basically treating her for a whole bunch of illnesses that she doesn't have, and making her sit in a wheelchair where she can walk. But like the mom has gone so far to convince her that these things are really happening to her, that she actually believes it for some time. And then she gets a little bit older, and like she starts becoming a young woman and starting to feel a little bit of independence. And the mom just kind of grips on tighter, and that eventually leads her to have a secret account, secret Facebook account. And then there was like this Christian dating site, that she met a young man, and he had, what I'm guessing, he had multiple personalities, and she convinces him to kill her mom. And then like she goes away with him, and then she gets caught. Now this is all that's all the real story. So you can catch that. I was on YouTube looking up like the real story. I watched an hour and 20-minute documentary about this. So like I said, I went down the rabbit hole for real. So this is all the stuff based what I just said is all based off of the real story. So the TV show is basically them acting all of this out. Now, currently, she's locked away. Gypsy Rose is, she's locked up, and you can find her story everywhere online about what actually happened. But it's really interesting because Patricia Arquette plays her mom. And that lady is a really good actress, like really good. And like her accent, like supposedly being from New Orleans or whatever like that, she's just like super spot on. I don't know if they have dialect coaches or whatever, but holy crap, is she absolutely nailing this role. And like, see, I know like Patricia Arquette, the thing that I know her the most for, I think it was like, was it The Whole 9 Yards? It might be The Whole 9 Yards that I like know her from, and she kind of had she was a completely different person in that, and so like seeing her in this is like way different, and like
I knew her from Freddy 3 or Nightmare on Elm Street 3 and Stigmata.
Yeah, I saw the Stigmata thing. I think I may have the wrong person when I said that. But I mean, I have seen her in a few different things, but and I'm looking to try to see if that was her from The Whole 9 Yards, and I'm guessing it's not. So I'm wrong on that aspect.
That's with Bruce Willis and shit.
I believe so, yes.
Okay. It's been a long time. I don't even remember what the fuck that movie's about.
And the crazy thing about that, I never connected her to Nightmare on Elm Street 3, but that was the reason why, as a child, I was terrified of Freddy Krueger.
Is that movie?
Oh
yeah, because your mom took you to the theater and shit.
My parents took me to the theater to see it. I had never seen the others at that point in my life, but they took us to the theater to see it. I was in third grade. You know what I mean? Like I was a kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, they took us to see it, and I was terrified.
Oh, I did see something. I saw something in the theater on Friday. I just forgot about it because it's kind of forgettable. I saw Hellboy.
Okay, I've heard people say it's not that bad. It's just not that good either.
I think Hellboy himself, and I think there's aspects of the movie that are really good, but I think the movie itself, and especially the script, is horrendous. Like the movie, it's just like you're kind of enjoying what's happening, but then you're forgetting what's happening because everything is moving so fast and back and forth to where the movie really doesn't know really where it wants to go. And by the end, you're like, oh, we're doing this now? I forgot about this character, so she's the bad guy? But, yeah, it's just kind of all over the place, and it's sad because, Hellboy himself is, really good. The dude who played Hellboy, because at first he's oh, it's not Ron Perlman, fuck it, but he did it, I think he did a really good job. And there's certain just little parts that are just fucking weird. Why did you guys do that? There's a certain part that's kind of a spoiler, but it was so weird, but it was supposed to be endearing, but you're you're not getting the endearing part because you're what the fuck is happening? So, but
oh yeah, I had her mixed up with her sister. Her sister Rosanna played it in The Whole 9 Yards.
Oh, okay.
So At least I was still in the family. Damn it.
And well, at least you didn't get her mixed up with her brother.
Yeah, absolutely not.
but
yeah. Who played in one of the first scary movies that I actually liked?
Yeah.
Which I see.
Deputy Dewey, man, he's like.
I seen that in the movie theater like 8 times, like for real.
Like fuck Sydney, man. Deputy Dewey's like the main character, man. That he's such a good character.
the bumbling idiot that just happens to survive it all. Like,
yeah.
That's crazy. But I have watched. I do not watch this show, but my girlfriend watches this show, and I've been around for a little bit of it, but I don't watch it because I know it's going to make me cry. Which is This Is Us. I've seen like maybe 2 episodes from beginning to end, and one of the episodes absolutely did make me cry. Like, fuck, this shit got me. I don't even watch this shit, and it got me. So yeah, This Is Us. It's really stinking good. Like, I mean, it's really, really good. And like, I know people have been talking about This Is Us for a long time, and I kept saying I want to see it, but I don't want to cry. You know what I mean? Like, and it was almost snot bubbles crying. I kept my composure, but like on some real shit, that shit got my ass the first time I watched. Because the subject of the episode really was close to home. Mm-hmm. So it was just kind of, it was just kind of real for me. So yeah, This Is Us is really good. If you want a good cry, do that.
Cool, man.
So you got anything else?
I think that's it, man. I mean,
okay. There's a couple things I want to bring up though.
All right.
Tiger Woods won the Masters today.
What the hell? Oh, never mind. Go ahead. It was just my screen just went, and I was like, okay.
Okay. Tiger Woods won the Masters, and it was weird because I'm not a golf fan, but I used to pay attention to golf when he was winning. Mm-hmm. And like everything that he's gone through, that of course they made a point to mention that some of it was self-inflicted, blah blah blah, whatever. It's kind of the same thing that they do every time Michael Vick is on something. That they have to mention it. Like they can't, like the announcers can't wait to mention it. Sometimes, I just very much enjoyed seeing him triumphant. And I got a little bit emotional about it. Like, and I thought that was weird because I haven't paid attention to any of this shit at all. I did see the story saying that he was still in the hunt after the first couple of days. And then when I saw the video, and it was the video of his last putt to win and him, hugging his family and just walking away from the course triumphant. I just felt something. And it was just kind of weird because I didn't think that I was going to feel anything about it. Like I really didn't, but I did. It caught me by surprise, which is like I didn't see that coming. I just saw him win and like him hugging his mom and stuff like that, and I was just kind of like, "You did it, bro. You did that shit." Out of everything that's happened with the injuries and all the other shit that's happened to you, you really pulled that shit off. And, congrats to you, dog. And then, like, everybody's watching Game of Thrones right now. I never really watched a bunch of Game of Thrones. I haven't watched any Game of Thrones after the first season. So I don't know.
Yeah, I need to. Like, it's something I think I'd dig, but I just haven't sat down and watched it. Because the episodes are like a movie length each. You know what I mean? It's just like, it just seems very daunting.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that I've always said that the problem with the HBO shows, the two that I didn't like as much as everyone else, which is Game of Thrones and The Wire. Both the problem that I have with the shows they both have, which is they kind of drop you in right in the middle, and you just got to figure this shit out.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, they explain a little bit, but they don't explain everything. I like being introduced to the basics and then trying to figure out who everyone is as their connection to the basic characters.
That's kind of what I said about Mass Effect, man. Wouldn't it have been so cool if our first introduction to the Mass Effect universe was a game that was based around, like, the first Contact Wars, to where, like, the first 3 games, the Turians were the bad guys, to where when Mass Effect 1 actually come out, you actually had that feeling like the rest of the characters, where you're like, everyone's kind of take back about Turians. But if they did it that way, you would have had that, you would have known why they felt that way, because they were they were sort of the bad guys at the first, you know, to the humans.
But I think, no, they couldn't have been. Here's why I say that. I think that Mass Effect did it right in, like, your introduction to those characters. Like, you get them all within the first few hours, but you do get them one at a time. Mm-hmm. And, like, you could, like, how you get them can change. Like, if you don't go through anything that have anything to do with Rex and you take care of Fist on your own, like, when you're on your way to leave, Rex will be like, hey, I hear you took care of Fist. Can I roll with y'all? And then, like, that's it. Like, you don't go through any of that. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like, there's things that can happen where you can bypass a character and then the character just kind of tags along anyway. But you do meet them all one at a time. Which means that you're stuck with Kaden for way too long in the beginning of that game.
Oh, I saw something that was a little weird that, you know, I think as time went on, it's kind of a product of this time, really. But I noticed I had started quests without Rex, right? Like the thing with the guy who scanned the keepers and his friend is trying to kill him and shit. Or that he thinks they're trying to kill him. Well, and then I picked up Rex before I finished that, and then I had Rex with me, and Rex was like, so, you're gonna talk? You know, your friend had said this and this, and I'm like, you weren't even there. Yeah, I just picked you up. How you know? But, you know, it's all about the writing and stuff, so you were supposed to have the same people together to do the whole quest, but I was like, yeah. That was a little weird.
And then they have those weird achievements in the first game where you have to keep your certain crewmates through most of the game.
Yeah, I'm glad they got rid of those achievements, because that was a thing to where that kind of like forced people, if they were going after the achievements, right, to force people to play in a way that's not how the game is really meant to be played. You're supposed to, like, switch your teammates out between the situations, not just pigeonhole yourself with Caden and Ashley just because you're trying to get the Sentinel and the Soldier achievement. You know, that's stupid. So, but the hardest one is Liara, because since you get her, you have to, like, make sure that you do her first. You can't talk to nobody before you get her. You have to like pretty much book it, and like it's real tricky. It was really tricky. Like if you like talk to someone, you already screwed it up. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. You have to, like, once you get that mission. Once you get the beginning and you get to Normandy, you go straight there. Oh, that reminds me of that point. You said that the Turians were basically the bad guys in the first game, but no, because of the Normandy itself.
Well, no, they weren't the bad guys in the first game. I was thinking, that a lot of people, like, characters in the game thought of them as bad guys because they knew them from meeting aliens for the first time and them being in a war. It's kind of like almost like if you played Gears of War and all of a sudden Gears of War 4, you know, the Locusts are like part of your team now. You're like cool with the Locusts, but other people will be like, man, I remember you guys fucking us up. Like back in the day, you know, you guys were some dicks back in the day.
Right.
So, I just thought that'd be interesting to see that perspective, you know. Because we never understand. It's like, why do you guys have such a problem with fucking aliens? They're just, you know, scare us. He's a turd. He's cool. Why you guys, like, being racist? Damn.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, I think a flashback would be interesting, but I don't know how much of that would matter, I guess you could say. Right.
I don't think it would be great now, you know, because after everything has happened, like, having a prequel game is normally like, it sounds cool, like, man, it'd be cool to go back to see what happened before, but then when you actually get there, you're like, you know, prequels always kind of, don't really work out.
Right. It's kind of a weird situation. I would be interested in going backwards, or at least like a DLC mission where, like, I mean, you could do that shit in Andromeda, because you can go back to the father, and where the father was in N7, and he knew Shepard. Like, that's how you can connect those two together. Mm-hmm. Because even though the father's not there anymore, you still have a way of connecting the two together.
Yeah.
And I think that would be cool. I would be in for that. I would be cool with that.
It's just, I don't think that the core people that really worked on the original Mass Effect games are even working for BioWare anymore.
Right.
So, would it ever be the same?
Probably not. But Casey Hudson is back, so...
Yeah, but he's just one person.
But, I mean, he was the guy who was, like, in charge of the original trilogy.
Yeah.
So, like, at least you have him. Now, it would be cool if you can get Drew Carpathian back. Mm-hmm. To go back and write something like this. There's a lot of things that you can do. It's just they have to be willing to actually do this. But, like, shit's fucked up at BioWare right now anyway.
Well, it'd be great if, like, some of those people actually got together and then they just made a game, sort of like how the people from Oblivion are now making that new game to where it's a spiritual successor of something else, but they're like, hey, we're not BioWare, but we pretty much worked on Mass Effect, and we're going to make something that's, you know, that you guys might like.
Right.
That's, you know.
You know something I've been trying to do this whole time? The Xbox website is very not helpful right now.
What are you trying to do?
I was trying to check and see how many of those achievements that I got, and it is not being very helpful right now.
Do you have the Xbox app, like the Windows 10 app?
Yeah, but I don't like using that.
Yeah, but you can check your achievements easy, right?
Yeah, but I don't like doing that because it basically shows me on, and then the moment I sign on, I'm gonna start getting messages to go play the Division.
Oh. Could you like sign on and immediately like change it to like invisible or something?
I typically, I was doing Invisible for quite some time. I really was, because it, sometimes it gets a little bit too much for me being out in the wild. But I started appearing online more when, with my cousin and stuff like that, so he can see that I'm on and we can go ahead and get this thing popping.
Yeah.
So it's been a little bit different, with the division, but I prefer to be appearing offline.
Yeah, I get that.
Very, very, very much so. I'm trying to find my Mass Effect thing, and I cannot find it. Actually, I got to the place. I just got to find Mass Effect now, because I really want to know how many of those achievements I've actually gotten.
That would be cool.
Yeah, I do. I've had a hankering to play some Saints Row. Kind of want to play some Saints Row.
Which one?
2 and 3, actually. I still don't care about 4 at all. I just don't, and it's not. I don't think there's anything that's going to change about that.
What's better, Crackdown 3 or Saints Row 4?
I would rather play Crackdown 3, actually.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I would much rather play Crackdown 3, honestly. Okay, so I found it, and I'm looking for those achievements. I don't even see them anymore. Oh, so I don't think I've done any of these. Yeah, I don't think I've done any of these. I'm looking at those achievements, and I have not unlocked any of them.
But you also, to unlock those, you have to do a lot of the side shit too. It's not just completing the main story.
Yeah, because you got to get like 80% of the game or some shit like that, right?
Yeah,
it's like complete the majority of the game with one of them.
And that's so poorly written too. A lot of those like early 360 achievements were like dumb, like and sometimes I just didn't even know how to score them. There'd be games where like, all right, there's 4 achievements in this game. They're worth like 400 points each, and you're like, okay. And then other games, it's like, okay, the main story, well, you'll get 10 score for that. The rest is multiplayer, and you're like, okay. And then after a while, they kind of got a knack of completing. To me, like completing the main story, if a game has multiplayer and stuff, or like some extra achievements that are like more focused, just completing the story should be at least 300 points.
Right.
You know, to me, like having like over 600 is like, you know, the higher end of the achievement thing. But, you know, but that was also before they started doing the percentage thing. And I don't really care about fucking achievements or trophies on the PlayStation 4 or Xbox One. But on the 360, I definitely did.
I did, until I got to a certain point.
Yeah. I mean, if I started playing the Xbox more and I started getting closer to like an actual milestone, I might start caring again. But as of right now, I'm just kind of like, I mean, my achievement score just from being on 360 for so long is fairly large. I mean, it's not as big as yours because you like played on the Xbox One a lot more than I did, and you played a lot more sports games than I did. I think is a big thing.
Well, no, I played a lot on the 360, and I own a lot on the 360. So, but like, I have a very modest, like, what's it, like 61,000?
Yeah, I think mine's in like maybe the 40,000s.
I stopped carrying it. I stopped carrying it about 25, which is the same as like ages.
Yeah,
I really stopped caring about my age once I hit like 25.
Yeah, because after 25, you're like, can I take age away? Is that a thing? Can I take my score away? I want to.
It's just your age doesn't matter that much after you turn 25.
Yeah.
It just doesn't.
And plus your sense of time, like, gets skewed when you get older. Like, just thinking, if I think of something from 2013, you're like, that's not that long ago. And then you're like, fuck, that was 5 years ago. That's half a decade ago. That does not seem, shit I was doing in 2013, playing Bioshock Infinite or some shit, does not seem like it was 5 years ago.
I almost pulled the trigger on the trilogy. The trilogy was on sale on Xbox. I don't know if it still is, but I almost pulled the trigger on the trilogy because I think I only have Infinite. I think that's the only one that I have on disc. But I almost pulled the trigger on Infinite because I kind of would like to play 2 again because I didn't play it enough. I didn't play it enough for it to be.
I think 2 mechanically is really good, but like story wise, it's kind of like the same thing as the first one, but now it's a female that you never heard of before, and apparently she's supposed to be this big thing. You're like, okay, but I've never heard of her before. Like, how is she even a character? Like, but so that whole thing was just kind of, and plus just being the big daddy, but then you were kind of video gaming weak. You're like, I remember like being killed by these fucking big daddies, and then it seemed like they were running out of fucking gas. When did they run out of gas?
Right.
But Minerva's Den was really good. I thought, like, that's
the part that I'm interested in doing. Like, I've heard so many good things about Minerva's Den. I'm like, that's why I would want to play 2, because I want to play Minerva's Den.
But yeah, like gameplay wise, like there's a lot of things in 2 that were like really improved upon from 1, like just mechanic wise. But you know, mechanics is always first. You want to have good mechanics, but like the story and the lore and all that stuff keep you interested. You know what I mean? So a game can like play really fun, but then if there's nothing interesting going on, you're gonna get bored with it, even though it's like got good mechanics. So that was kind of my thing with 2. Like, I almost wish that, you know, I could take the mechanics of 2 and put them in 1.
Yeah. Oh, I got 62,000 gamer score. I'm impressed with me. Even I had no idea.
It's funny, like, I don't know if it still does it. Like, if you go to compare your gamer score on the Xbox One with somebody else, the person that has the higher one will be like, and the person that like has a lower one will like cry and shit. I always thought that was funny. You're muted, by the way.
I'm thinking I should totally do that with you right now.
What are we doing?
Comparing achievements, jerk.
Oh, okay. Cool. Comparing achievements, like people that compare achievements.
Yeah. So, you got anything else?
I think that's it, man. I think we can wrap this shit up.
Okay, so I'm in the process of trying to set up the comparison. So there we go. And before the show is over, I want to see if it actually does that. It's not doing it on the app.
It's not doing it on the app? Why is it not doing it on the app? Stop. Make it do it on the app.
Really?
Yeah.
Why did you just pull up a picture of William Zabka?
I don't know. There's to bring things around from your Cobra Kai talk.
Okay. So, I think there was something else that I was going to talk about, and I just lost it because we started talking about like fucking Mass Effect and stuff. Yeah, I just lost it, and it was something. I don't think it was that important, or else I would have said it at the beginning of the show.
But you did say like you were going to start at the beginning, and you didn't know where to start. Was there other things to that?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of weird. I really kind of want to watch The Karate Kid right now, which is not available on the streaming services, so I'll have to put down a little bit of money. But because of Google Rewards, I don't have to pay anything out of pocket,
Right.
which is good. I got like $25. I got like $25 in Google Rewards. This is fucking dope. That's free fucking money, dog. Like,
yeah. Free money.
yeah, fuck yeah, man. Oh yeah. I tried to, apparently you do things and you kind of get these little Microsoft points.
Yeah.
And then you can, you have things that you can try to cash them in or whatever. So I went to look one day and I can't remember how many points that I had. But, so I went to try to cash it in and they said you can get an Xbox gift card. And I'm like, hey, that's cool. And it's like, maybe, I have enough for like $10 off something. That shit said I had $1.25. $1.25. Like, I mean, it wasn't even $3.50. Like, you know what I mean?
He's like, hey, yo, Scarfinger, I know you've been loyal to us for a long time. Here's 5 quarters.
Like, it was just kind of like, yeah, I mean, $5 or something. Like, I had $1.25. Like, what the fuck is this shit? Like, Xbox, y'all tripping. Like, y'all were like really like tripping. So y'all not like Google. I wish I could pay for some shit. I wish I could pay for some Xbox shit with my Google Rewards points. That would be dope. Just use that to pay for a gift card.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be bad at all. But yeah, I don't think I have anything else. And whatever else I had, I don't think it was that important. But it's gone now.
It's gone now, man.
So for the people, shout out to the people. Oh yeah, I am working on some paintings for myself right now, which is weird. But I am going to try to do something nice for Meef and them. But I haven't gotten to that point yet because I'm in the process of making these paintings for myself. So, I still haven't said anything. I didn't want to say anything until I had something real to come back with. But again, thank you to those gentlemen, for the game. Something happened, so I couldn't play this weekend, but I'm going to try to get in and play some with Pooh Bear at some point. And who knows? Once I come down from this Division obsession, I might start over Fable 2.
Nice, man.
That would be fucking dope.
Yeah, I played a little Fable 2 for the Extra Life thing. Actually, that was our last sort of game night. We need to have like some game nights that actually go on the website. Like, we haven't had one since November, which was the Extra Life thing.
I'm just saying, like, it's always Killing Floor. And if we play it on the PlayStation, that's an easy stream.
Yeah, but I don't have the...
You ain't got Plus no more?
No, I can't...
I forgot you said you let all that shit go.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the whole console, the console wars coming to PC now?
I think it's weird. Like for one, I mean, I get it. Like you wanted to buy all your stuff in one place and not have it all convoluted. I mean, I get that. Like having to download 10,000. I mean, because right now it's not that bad. You got Steam, GOG, Blizzard, Origin, Uplay, Epic. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different launchers. And if you count Bethesda, but I don't know but I don't have Bethesda launcher. So that would be 7. But if every video game company had their own launcher, that would be ridiculous. You know what I mean? Yes. So I get that part. But what I don't get is when people are like so mad. Like, because
the Borderlands thing is like, really? Y'all acting really fucking stupid about this.
Because the reason that they're doing it is because Epic's paying them more money than Steam is. And everybody knew that going in. Like, they're going to pay the developers more money than Steam is going to. So, of course, shit like this is going to happen because I mean, until Steam starts paying the developers more money, shit like this is going to still happen. But
and also something that I thought about. All of my games, all of my PC games, I have icons on my desktop.
yeah,
So like when I want to play something, I double click that icon and then it, kind of opens whatever launcher in the background. But other than seeing the initial pop up of whatever launcher it is, I never fucking see this shit. So like, why are people mad? Like, do people just load up Steam and then load their games, or do they just load the fucking game from the desktop like I do? Like,
yeah.
maybe
I don't load from the desktop because I don't really like a bunch of fucking icons on my screen. I've just always been that way. But I do load from Discord. Discord, you can launch all your games from, no matter where it's from.
Oh yeah, Discord is getting their own launcher, right?
Well, their launcher, I never bought anything actually from them, but you can definitely launch everything from Discord. Like right now, you just go to your library, and there's Assassin's Creed Origin, Uplay, Witcher 3, GOG, Borderlands, Steam. You know what I mean? And you just hit play and it'll launch it.
See, look, I'll share my screen. Can you see it?
No, I just see you. You have to click that. You probably have to click allow or something.
Yeah, I clicked it. It's not working. Hold on, I'll try this again. The browser is having trouble accessing the screen. It said that when I clicked off of it. Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, it won't let me do it.
But yeah, but what I was getting at is that if you buy Epic Borderlands 3 from Epic Games, and then your buddy waits and he gets it from Steam, you both can play together because it's not like there's an Epic copy and a Steam copy. It's still the same PC game.
Yeah, it's still the Windows version.
Yeah, so like it's just where you're buying it from. But and unless I do get that there are games that are exclusive to different stores already, but they're all first party, like Battlefield 5, you can't get that on Steam. It's exclusive to Origin, but that's an EA game on EA's store. When Epic are taking third party games and having it exclusive to their store, and I don't think that's ever really happened before on PC.
I don't think it's. I just don't see the big deal.
I don't either, but I mean, I see both sides, but I just don't fucking care.
I don't look. I understand where the people are coming from. Yeah. I just don't understand the anger associated with it. Like, I'll just say that I don't understand why you're so mad about it. Like, okay.
Like, plus it's only 6 months. Like,
yeah, I mean, just either fucking download some new shit or wait 6 months.
Yeah.
And by the time you wait 6 months, the shit gonna be dirt cheap anyway.
And if you really want to, if you really like fucking Borderlands and you like Gearbox, buy it on Epic and fucking support them more than Steam would.
I mean, like, if you care about these people, but like a lot of people, like, there's a report that came out that said that Randy Pitchford,
yeah,
he was part of the reason why this exclusivity deal happened. So like, people are mad at him and trying to take it out on him by saying, I'm not going to buy this shit. Like, really? Like, you mad at my man for trying to get more money for his game?
Right.
What the fuck are you doing, dog? Like, it's just dumb. And like, I mean, maybe it's because I'm mostly a console dude, but like, this shit seems dumb as fuck. Like, y'all being mad, but like, yo, you can still play it on the same PC. It doesn't matter where the fuck it came from. You can still play it on the same PC. So I'm fucking.
At least it's not like consoles to where, like, Uncharted is, to where if I buy it Uncharted is exclusive to that forever. Like, and like and if I buy Destiny on PlayStation, I can't play with someone who bought it on Xbox. But if I buy Borderlands on Epic and you buy it on Steam, we can still fucking play together because cross play is not even a fucking thing on PC. It's just the way it is. Like it's not even called cross play. It's just called playing the fucking game because,
right.
like, so yeah,
it's just weird. But all right, let's go ahead and wrap this up. Shout out to the people. We appreciate y'all. And we appreciate y'all checking in for all of the content that we have, including the YouTube pages, the several different YouTube pages, including the painting YouTube, which I'm really close to my 50 mark.
50.
Yeah, but I haven't gotten there yet. And like looking at my stats is just weird. Because I never really wanted to rely on stats, especially, not here, not anywhere. I didn't want to rely on stats, but I did say I was going to do a giveaway at 50, and like trying to get to 50 has been kind of daunting. So just shout out to the people, man, for engaging in the content. We appreciate y'all. And we'll come back with some more hotness, and Chase is going to do his top 5 games that he returns to this week, and we're going to upload that during the week.
Cool. Put me out there, huh?
Yep. It's like I finally did mine, and nobody else did theirs. So like Chase is going to do his this week. You got a week, bro. Like you got a whole week. You just got to sit there and record your 5. So no Persona. I had to go without Mass Effect. You got to go.
You didn't have to go without Mass Effect. It's just you didn't have to do Mass Effect for saying your 5 games for each 5 Mass Effect game.
No, let's make it fun. No Mass Effect for you, and when Sam does his, no Skyrim for him.
Okay.
See, we're making it even, right? I did mine, and I didn't know Mass Effect. I did mention Mass Effect, but it wasn't a part of the 5. So. Man, just thank you to everybody again for the homie Chase. I'm Scarfinger. This is Scarcasm, and we're out of here this time. Peace out to the Worrier Show.
No Mass sounds like a TLC song. Like, I don't know. Later, guys.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say anything. I was just gonna let you ride that stupid ass joke out.
I like that shit, yeah, boy. Look, I'm telling you, Whoa. Alright, I ain't gonna talk.